All right, let's get to work. I've been doing some offline work too, but let's do some. What are we gonna do? Okay, add smelting as a trade skill. Let's do that. And then we need the database. Where is it? We're going to just copy the blacksmithing because that's where we currently have our stuff. Smelting. I'm going to open this up. We're going to take out anything that is not ore related. And we'll probably make some, mix up the recipe a little bit to make bars. So over here, we just need to get rid of the refines. And then back to the crafting components. Oh, I also have to do all of this on a server. So check for ingredients, yada, 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 and then we do the server request, and we can stick it here for now. Simple enough. So come through, we're getting the craft category, and then smelting. Oh, we need to track this onto here. Smelting will look for a smelting thing, or forge, which also means we need to go back here and attach this here. And then we can do a quick find on all of these. It's the smelting. It's there, and it's there. Let's do a quick find elsewhere. Might be some widgets. I'm sure the crafting widget itself. Okay, maybe not. Oh, but I do need to do on the crafting widget. This guy. I'll just duplicate that. Smelting. I think that's everything. Let's do my wish list thing. There we go. Hello, Wyatt. How you doing? Still banging your head against the wall? Yeah, go ahead. There's those. Crafting station. And that's not set yet, so let's go fix that. Alright, so trying to find, can't do it. Still won't be able to do it here. forge. Okay, I need to make the forge a little bigger. I can't do it. Maybe these are a little bit too tight on their thing here. A little bit bigger there. Same thing over here. Why does it seem off on this thing? It's not off here, but it is off. Is this? That's so strange. That would be explained why. But yeah, feel free to ask your question. I'm happy to answer. I think that's fine. I'd love to try to build this passion project game, and I'm trying to find out if it's something I could do with EUE. Without getting too detailed, I'd be interested in creating systems that allow the user to do things like literally watch grass grow slowly and over time. Or maybe watch a dog grow from a pup to adult. All with high fidelity in visuals, body movement, and physics with different environments like water, branches with dynamic weight distributions. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any engine that couldn't do that. Unreal Engine probably is like the high fidelity visuals part is likely the best choice for Unreal. But that's just a lot of material work and using morph targets for, I'll put this in chat, but morph targets, body deforming from child to adult. Like that, the morph targets are like every engine can do it. Materials can change the look / skin / hair of the character over time. Over time based on age values. As far as grass grows, again, it's like I'm pretty sure you could have, again, it's just material work. But I honestly think that you could do that in any engine you wanted. It's just the high fidelity visual part is probably best in Unreal. That's the only caveat there. And thank you for the follow, Xerus Oximus. Xerus, you sound like a transformer. Xerus Oximus. To Optimus Prime, I say hello. But yeah, honestly, like you can do that in any engine. It's just the high fidelity visual part is probably best in Unreal. Okay, yeah, I'm just testing smelting, refine. My loot disappeared, I think. How are you, Xerus? Are you more of a player or are you a developer? Or both, obviously. Most time we're both, but. I tried making a small plastic cup, like for small plants, that could stack kind of inside one another, similar to construction code stack. But apparently I can't have complex collision that's simple and simulate physics at the same time. Yeah, I don't deal with a lot of physics sim stuff. Stuff resting on top of each other, the cups fitting into each other. I could see that causing a lot of potential problems, like just like, constant things maybe like shooting around. But unfortunately, I'm not the best person for like simulated physics stuff, because none of my games like ever really have simulated physics stuff turned on. Oh, I need snow. Is there snow? It's one of those things that you might have to end up editing the collision yourself. I think you could regenerate collision and stuff in Unreal and see if that works. But if you get into like, there could be a case where if you're doing something highly specific like that, you might have to do custom collision on things to get it to work. Because it used to be that almost all collision was like handmade, right? Like in 3D modeling software. You'd not only would you have your 3D model, but you'd have the collision kind of breakdown of that model with it. But modern engines a lot of times just generate it themselves. All right, so I probably should have. Okay, yeah, whatever. All right, so I've added smelting. I'm good, thanks. How about you? Player mainly, and now I'm just starting learning UE5. Okay, cool. Well, if you are interested, and again, this is something I did in the past, I don't get paid for it. I did the courses 5 through 8 on the Coursera course. It's intended for completely new developers, and we built our courses 5 through 8 as if you basically start a project and learn and grow from it into prototyping 6 different game modes. And those game modes are story, crafting, action combat, self-survival, platformer, and capture the flag. So just thought I'd throw it out, plug my course, even though I don't get. But Epic hired us to pay for it, so it's like we got payment up front for it. We don't get anything financial for it now. All right, so now I want to change up smelting to do bars, which is just a bunch of. Let me add smelting trade skill. I can take that off my list. Go to my patch notes. Added the smelting trade skill. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. And it is a course that's like, because we were paid for it, it's very, and like there's 3 other content creators as well that obviously also did work there on the courses 1 through 4, which is also obviously a good thing to go through too. And then, yeah, I've just got, it's very like professionally created in ways. The only caveat is that after the course launched, the whole like Epic did their change from marketplace, having an Unreal Engine marketplace, and consolidated everything to Fab. So there might be a little bit of, work trying to track down some of the free assets that we use during the course. But outside of that, I've still gotten lots of good feedback from it all. So then that was just one of the things that were outside of our control. Always loved the crafting mechanics for EQ and EQ2. Which mechanics specifically are you saying that? Because most of the time it was just buying stuff from vendors, right? And then you just put it in a box and hit craft, right? I mean, most crafting, it's always funny, like, it's such a UX feel of crafting, because almost every crafting game in every game is almost exactly the same. It's here's the ingredients, gather them, and hit craft, right? And so if there's something specific more than that, I would love to hear about it. And I remember, like, so I worked at an internet cafe back when I was growing up, and we'd have they had a it's kind of funny. Their location was kind of bad overall, but they went there because it was obviously better on rent, and but it was in like a more corporate park area instead of being more like a foot traffic consumer area, and we'd have like 3 EverQuest players that would come by, and you would do like it was like a $10 or $12, and this was in Canada, like $10 or $12 lunch and an hour of gameplay. And so we'd have these three or four people that would come in every lunch to do EverQuest stuff. And one of them was like all they did was crafting. That's the only thing they did in that game, pretty much. I think they were max level still, obviously, but they had almost every single trade skill mastered or capped. And as you probably know, in EverQuest 1, that was pretty hard to do and expensive to do. But he did it. And so he's always sitting there crafting. And that's one thing I'm trying to, like, so the main things you can, like, I'm trying to teach, so again, this is my newbie yard. I'm like polishing it up and stuff for the playtest at the end of the month. And the couple things I'm trying to teach you through just gameplay is doing everything you do gives you experience. So crafting items gives you experience. And when I say experience, it's your level experience, just not like crafting experience, just base level experience. Gathering resources gives you experience. Killing monsters gives you experience. And then, yeah, it's like you think so. Like we went with a very Minecrafty style, portrayal of stuff here, right? But EverQuest was the same thing. It's like, I mean, I think EverQuest didn't ever show you I think maybe retail EverQuest, quote, quote, now shows you recipes, right? But before it was just open a bag, put stuff into a container, and then in that container you hit craft. Or you had to walk to I think there were some cases where you had to use a crafting station in some cases. Because I think I remember like storing things in one of those boxes when I was trying to transfer, like before the shared bank slot was in, I'd go put them in like a crafting slot thing and do a quick swap or something. I can't remember, but that sounds like I remember doing that. And so the so-called craft, like the Minecraft crafting system, is like that's pretty much all there is to it. The only thing that slightly differs is like a Final Fantasy thing where maybe there's a timing component to it that you have to like time things properly. And I don't think I want to go that route. I hate the idea because the problem with those systems is like what is the failure, right? And you give someone your materials and they just accidentally like suck that day, or they have lag that moment, and all of a sudden they lose your mats for it. Like it's a little weird. And so I don't think I want to do any type of mini game yet, at least, unless I think of one that doesn't like botch items because someone failed. Like you spend the challenge is getting the items. That's the challenge to me, not crafting the item itself. But who knows? All right, so I need to make. So refined ore is probably going to be. Yeah, I suppose we can just keep the refined ore for now. Whatever. Um, but yeah, so everything you do in the game, and then we even have exploration, and so like this is intentionally trying to make you intrigued by what the hell this big thing is, and go there. And go there, it's like a little mini game where you have to click the right mirror, which teleports you up here, which gives you exploration XP. And then the thing I was going to show you, for those that haven't kind of been tuning in, we have, so we're like, we always say that we're an EverQuest and WoW mix-up. And so part of that is we don't want quest hubs. So we're leaning more towards EverQuest on that kind of front. And so what we've done is created the Registry of Chronicles, which is an achievement system plus quest system. So you'll never get a kill quest to go kill 10 bears. You just kill 10 bears or whatever, and then you get bonus XP. And so it's just kind of combining the experience system or the achievement system into the quest system. And you can do it for archetypes too. For animals, you would get something. And for exploration, it's got its own track. Crafting has its own track. Death, dying, you can get XP for dying, you know. And questing is quests will be like, I think right now I'm leaning more to like, I've heard a lot of good things about Ruinscape quests. Everyone says those quests are really good, and so I need to do more research on like why they're good. But having quests be a little bit more intentional and not just spammed. And then even gathering has its own quests. And right now it's only experience, but there will be items and recipes and spells that you can get from these things as well. And then each category also has its own leaderboard as well. Cool. Anyway, I have to go as in the UK and getting late. I'll catch you later. This game looks interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Back to more recipes. Crafting. Those are ingredients. I need a smelting thing, I think. So mining is ore. Those are ingredients. So we need results. No, not results. Recipes. New folder. Smelting. Also, that efficiencies of the final product depended on experience of making item many times before. I thought in EverQuest, I mean, maybe that's EverQuest 2, but EverQuest 1 was usually just a skill check, wasn't it? And then you would get a bunch of crafting items that give you plus skill. And that would basically have a chance, that increase your chances of not failing, because you could fail in EverQuest. And if you failed to make it in EverQuest, you would either, I think eventually they made it so you salvage some of the parts, but OG EverQuest, I think you just lost all your mats, if I remember right. But then there were items, I think, that could increase your chance, less likeliness chance to fail. Yeah. That I could see doing, right? Like, you know, and for certain items, like there would be, like I sort of, like I do like that in, was it New World? There was like you can get crafting bonuses based on skill and other factors. I don't like having to equip different sets of gear for trade skills, but that could be something that players just want. They might like the gear of those things. So I'm not sure about that, but or maybe it was the ingredient like a polished diamond versus raw diamond. Definitely not what they're called. Yeah, maybe you can mix and match materials or ingredients, I should say. I could have a quality level slot added as well. So there's the ingredient kind of sections. Like New World had a lot of those things where certain slots were basically increase the quality chance of things. Yeah, gold ring with ruby with different stats than gold ring with emerald. Yeah. Platinum fire wedding rings, yo. Dead Valium fire wedding rings, the go-to standard of every alt. Also, I mentioned the process a few chats up. Maybe that the most final products required at least 2 preliminary craftings intended to be a process. Maybe that most final products required at least 2 preliminary craft, so like 2 items to craft before it, right? So one thing that I haven't mentioned too much so far, but one of the things we're trying to do is have a lot of foot traffic between like low levels and high level characters, and also having core reasons to enjoy the process to get the max level. And on those two kind of like the theses or philosophies, some of the named items, like even in this newbie yard, right? There might be a named item you get at this goblin camp that you need to use to craft into a higher level item. And so as a result of it, you're going to want to come to this goblin camp early to get those items so you're prepared for later on in the game. Or you miss out on it now in the early levels and you have to come back for it later as a high level. And so that like creates a lot of kind of traffic between high and low levels. And then we also have a so-called fabled expedition system that the high levels that come here can actually increase the levels of this camp too. Through metamorphosis. It's another trait skill thing. And so yeah, we're going to have a lot of those kind of things. And then when you do those metamorphosis camps, the named enemies there become fabled enemies, and those fabled bosses drop the fabled version of that loot. And so they're kind of even stronger. And so there might be a low-level recipe to upgrade this into like a bit stronger, but then the fabled version will be much stronger. So there's a lot of those things. Just trying to find ways, because like the best thing about EverQuest was like sometimes having that high level come by and give you a random item or give you a massive buff, and then you're like you feel OP as shit, like. And so we're trying to integrate those things, and then there's like that feeling when you're a high level, you kind of feel super powerful, helping out low levels, and like feel kind of really good about yourself. And then low levels like inspire to be you because you're so powerful. So like there's a lot of like um, dynamics there at play. And then there's a lot of family guilds that would come by and like just help with stuff like this, help people get their loot things. And at the same time too, like you can further increase your what's it called? Your registered chronicles as a high level, even on low level camps and stuff. I'll probably have to like nerf high levels killing low level camps a little bit, but or like the registries only progressed when it comes to monsters you can get experience off type thing. But That's cool. When I mentioned the process, though, I was talking about more about having to craft 2 spider silks into silk swatches, and then swatches into straps, and then straps into backpack, or whatever it was. Yeah, multi-step crafting for sure. Yeah, I like that term right there for sure. And like I'm literally doing that right now, where like you gather the ore, then the ore is like going to turn into smelted bars, and then the bars turn into um, armor type thing. I wonder if does Mixmo have a blacksmithing animation? Blacksmith, craft. No, doesn't look like they have crafting stuff. Hammer, no. It might be labeled something different, but. Alright, catch you soon. Alright, this is going to be smelt. Ingredients going to be just 2 ore. And what you get is so this should actually be T0 bar. We're going to make so this is in our loot mining. I'll make a smelting category. So whatever. At some point, I need to do a big renaming convention for this stuff. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Loot stacks, 1 to 10 is fine. Crude ore bar. Appearance is 2D on this one. Common. Take away the static meshes. There's got to be a bar or bar or something here. Engineering. That one works. looks crappy enough. I think that one's probably the crappy one. Okay, tooltip, whatever. Animations, whatever. Pick up. Quest. Nothing. It's not a consumable. It's not equipment. I think that's everything. So now I can just duplicate this 2 more times. T1. This one's going to be rare. This one will be this guy. We'll just go with this. This is actually T2. Let's just make sure these are working. Bar T0. Bar T1. Bar T3. T2. Gotta put them in the inventory. Whoa. Okay. I did not readjust the size. And the location's still off. What? Yeah. don't want that. Animation is 0 and done. You went body outside now, dude. Dogs. Oh my god. I swear. It's so frustrating. Like, we have 2 dogs, and I'm more of a cat person. I love animals in general. It's partly because just life's crazy and busy and the bullshit of life, right? But, alright, bar or bar. And if I had, like, more time available, I would be as critical on dogs, but it's very frustrating. Uh, potty, training dogs, and I know that's like so much of it is about doing it yourself, right? Like I'm not moron in that sense, but yeah, it's tough to potty train dogs. And we have a backyard. We have a big backyard. It's still hard to get them to do that. It's like we could leave the back door open and they'll still go inside sometimes. All right. All right. So I have those smelting things. So now I need the recipes for them. And so this one become T0 bar, right? And this is or bar or requires this, and you get a bar. A T0 bar requires 2 or, you get 1 bar. This is that to that. Smelt T1 bar. Rarity is uncommon. This one to common. And this is supposed to be 0. At some point I gotta stop using fake names. Duplicate. Okay, vertical third, that's the wrong one. I need to delete some of these. That's the right one. And that's the right one. But yeah, on the crafting front, like I do like a lot of how New World did things too. I like that you always need the low-end materials to upgrade them to some of the high-end materials. And then the high-level recipes, like you just kind of follow that track of, like it's a very good progressional track. So I liked New World's system for that. And then the people that, like, so the low levels can always do some farming of the low-end content. Why didn't that stick? That's weird. Um, That's weird. But yeah, New World is probably my example for like how I'm trying to do a little bit of the. It's very strange. Some of these are not activating now. Maybe it's just a loading issue. It's probably just a random loading issue, I guess. And shouldn't happen too much later on. Okay, so I picked this up. It's whatever. Should still have them in my inventory, which I do. Those are all there. And then if I drop them, they're dropping properly. Yeah. It's T1. T0. And T2. T2. Okay. So the bars are integrated. If I go to smelting, I need to add the new recipes to the smelting trade skill. Brr. Oh, I didn't do the recipe. I probably did the item. Recipe bar. Okay. Can you properly do this, please? I thought I clicked T1. Oh, it's doing this stupid editor thing. For some reason, when you copy stuff, sometimes it's like the redirector on the copy is like all weird. And so even though I am selecting the T1 version, it's still pointing at the T0 version. I think it requires a restart. There we go. I don't know why Unreal does that, but okay. I need a different. I need a different thing for that, I think. could use that. Whatever, leave it. It's not important. Okay, so now I have to do the annoying part, which is go through all of the bloody blacksmithing recipes and change them to use a bar. And so I'm going to just update, and the amounts I'll keep the same. So this is a little trick I do before you do a mass open on your data table. You kind of open the first one, make sure it's slotted where you want it, and then which things are expanded and not expanded. And you can close it, and now we can open them all. And actually, we'll do this slightly different, so it's a little bit better for the brain. I'm going to go to just T0 and open all these. Of course, didn't do that part, but we're going to do or T0 bar. Make sure it's the loot. Copy. Control W to close. Paste. Now I go to the next one. We're doing T1 bar. Copy. Control W to close. And then finally, T2 bar. Copy. The benefits of very data table driven systems. Lots of copy paste functionality. And so I just updated, 16, 32, 40 recipes with the new ingredient. And now if I go to crafting, blacksmithing, they all now require the ore bar. And so we will go to get some ore. Boom. Boom. Alright, so I got some ore. I need to smelt it. Can't smelt here. The QA steps. Can't smelt here, even though it hit. Because these are not the right crafting station. I need to make a new error though. Hello, child.
I'm here to collect soda tabs.
Okay, well, can you take all the cans to the sink and dump them out?
I'm collecting soda tabs for Lily for her birthday.
Well, I'm streaming. Can we do this a little later, maybe? Or you just take the cans to the sink? Come back. Alright, so I made my ore bars. Now I can go to blacksmithing. And I should not be able to do it here. Nor can I do it right here. To fix collision on these tents. Dink. And there is my plate of nothingness. And as you can see, my registry chronicles updated with the crafting component. Ooh, I've done 12 crafts. Bonus XP. Why did it say I didn't have enough chronicle points? It's weird. Alright, but then let's just double check. Blacksmithing. Each one of these. Takes the updated item. T1 ore bar. All of these take the new ore bar. I did change the icon, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll just start doing copper and stuff. We'll call ore bronze. That iron and this steel, I guess. Let me just go ahead and update these. Okay, recipes, smelting. Refine. I'm going to say bronze ore. Refine iron ore. I think that's what the second tier was, right? It was bronze to iron to steel. Bronze to iron to steel. Okay. Bronze ore. Recipe. Smelt iron bar. And I mean, at some point, I'll probably redo these anyways, but, you know, just trying to slowly chip away at certain things. It's going to be bronze ore. Now that we're a bit more player facing, I'm trying to get rid of like the T1 XYZ and T2 XYZ. This one, I think, no, it's this one that needs to be set to, no, it's the recipe, not these. The recipe, this one needs to be set to rare. Yeah, I want to do these refines as bump up the refine value a little bit. You're going to need 4 bars or 4 ore. All right. I think that's all the plate recipes done. Nothing else uses that stuff. So, did I complete a checklist or did I do something random? Okay, yeah. Nothing on the checklist. It was like a random thing I did. Let's go back up here. Added bronze, iron, steel bar recipes. I am very aware that like a lot of these things aren't. Normally you need like different things to make. You have a raw ore, then you have something you put into to make bronze, and iron, steel. But right now we're not following that. Out of the smelting trade skill. Yeah. I do need to just quickly, when I hit I, it's like a random thing. I think this is in the player master. An input graph. User interface. Okay, maybe it's the controller. Oh, profile. That's what it is. And so, what do I use for this? Should show in my widgets for the, not that one. Oh, actually, I have it for the actual inventory. Already done. Should now do this. What's the widget target supposed to be? It's just the profile icon. It's probably just profile. Yeah, target's profile. So I'm slowly updating my HUD to some of the changes I did in vertical third. So we'll go ahead and do that. Change. Get the HUD. Do I have a profile? I do not. So class settings. Get widget profile. Root widget. Get profile widget. Back over here. Actor input. And so we're going to actually take this back over to the original character, player master. I'm just going to pop these off. And we're going to do get controller, get HUD. Add the cast to player controller. Get HUD. Get profile widget. Okay. Sugar plums. Wait, what? That's a widget reference. Okay, for now we're just doing cast to widget. I suppose I could just do this. This is probably smarter. I keep that RT set profile set inventory. I guess show inventory. This will be we don't need a return. Copy. Show crafting. Show quest. Back to the HUD. All right, back to widget inventory. All right, so we should only need, so now we cast to widget. Oh, actually we don't need to because it is a widget. So it should work now. This is quest. That's the profile widget. All right, that's quest. Crafting. And inventory. And then I should be able to go back to the player master. Delete all this. And now just get HUD and show inventory. Should work. Let's find out. So see inventory, hit crafting, just crafting, hit I, back to inventory. Quest, back to inventory. Crafting, back to inventory. Okay, and if I have that up, but then I click this, or this, those also work. Fine by me. Alright, save everything. It's like a random bug fix. Okay. What we got now here? Okay. Next thing on the list. I sort of need to do. The first thing I need to do, go to the bathroom. That's what I need to do. So I'll BRB. Okay, I'm back. Um, yeah, so I think I'm going to change the color, create a new color window for loot. I'm also debating, like, do we really need loot quality colors? I'm actually debating that um, a little bit. Because I always think it's stupid when you have, like, a blue item. Like the blue doesn't really mean anything because it's only blue level of that level range. So what's it even matter? I guess it just helps. Like I think when we're looking at loot, especially gear and stuff, um, like it sort of is representative. But it's like you can have a green level 2 item and a green level 50 item, you know. And so I guess it's only representing rarity for that level range. I will introduce the new some rarity types. So first up, if we go to loot, rarity, let's add one for um, like crude. me see if that that might actually mess up a lot of things. So let me just double check. All right. Yes, you did mess up things. T1's no one in our T1. It's very annoying when it does this. T2 is no longer T2. I suppose I don't have to add it in order. I can just add it and then do crude for now. Let's see if that fixed it all. Or did it get jacked? Yeah, so it's all back to normal now. Okay. So now, what do I want to do now? I have added crude. So number 1 on the UI, the tooltip. Hopefully this doesn't crash. Okay, thank God. Set data. And we're going to go rarity. And so for crude, we're going to go like a brown. I mean, I could do just a gray. And then go to our database, loot, equipment. What? Oh, wrong database. Brains running slow. Okay. Yeah, these are all like the nothingness stuff. So all of these, data table. I'm going to change the rarity to crude. Alright, once again, need to do my trick here. Open this guy. I'm going to shrink all this stuff to the appearance. Close them down. And now we can just paste it all in. Burp, 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 burp. Oh, okay. I hate when I hit make writable instead of checkout. All right. So now we hit this. And if we look at our nothingness stuff, it's kind of dull. I don't like it being that dull though. So maybe gray is a bad color. Um, um, just go a little bit brighter, maybe. Yeah, it's not terrible. Maybe like a hint of like brownish. Slightly brighter. Trying to just very much distinguish it from like a white loot piece. Yeah, I like that. And so this is all dropped gear, which is so-called tier 0. And so the next thing I wanted to do, so this is light gray brown. Do I have a loot thing? I did not have a loot thing. Loot. Um, all right. I think I need to take a quick AFK check on my kiddo. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Had to check on a kiddo real quick. All right, so I sort of need this next stage of loot, which is kind of the green loot I have now in some ways. So maybe that should become white. So basically, all of these things here are sort of becoming tier 0.5. And in some ways, I guess the question is, do I make these that you have to craft them to do it? Should I force crafting? Or should these just be the T0? Or should you just like, you get both drops and crafted. You can craft them, but you can also need to get them through drops. Because my T1 loot still only gives like one stat. So it's pretty much the only step up is T1 loot. Hmm. Decisions. So yeah, maybe like you just end off leaving the area with full T1. And so you're able to craft the pieces you're missing, but you're still able to find them. So you have a little bit of agency to make sure you leave the area with a full set of T1, should you want to. So I'll leave that alone for now. But then there's like a missing tier. Might as well just leave them white then. Or I could just make it armor value differences. But I think you're kind of leveling so fast that maybe it doesn't matter. I also need to do on the tooltip, when it comes to statistics, we will get Okay, where's the value? This is not for loot. Um, Alright, so it's 10 right here. So why is it doing this? Is it not rounding or is it rounding? So if I go to loot, armor, let's do, I think it's leather. Wait, I would think I'm a enchanter right now, or cleric. Yeah. If I go to equipment, it's .01. Is it showing as .01? It's showing as 1%. And so if I do 1.5, .5%. Okay, so it does show half percentages as I'm looking for. And so I think all of these, and you switch up the armor value. So it's going to do a quick. So plate, we'll do like 1%. change how I'm doing this again. So first plate will be a baseline. So everything here, so the chest will keep at, yeah, chest will be 1%. Legs, like I have to make it a little bit, legs will also be 1%. Feet will be, that's 1.025%. Same with hands. Shoulders and waist. And then, yeah, I'll just do that. And then head is maybe 0.5 for head. Let's see if that shows correctly. One percent, 0.25, 0.25. Ooh, head is not set right. Legs 1, shoulders 0.2, waist. And yeah, so head did not get set right. 0.05. This makes it a little more sensible and also nerfing some of the stats a little bit. Now your feet should give you a little bit less protection than your chest plates, I would think. And then leather is just going to be half values of that. So if we go to chest, it's .1 divided by 2. And same thing for the legs. And then the feet is .025 divided by 2. And the head is double this times 2. Alright, so blacksmithing, chest is 1, feet is 0.25, 0.25, leather working. Chest is 0.5, feet are, okay, that's still off. So on the blacksmithing, the feet are 0.25, so I need an extra 1 or 0 on the feet and the hands and stuff, on everything. chest 0.5, legs 0.5, feet. Okay, legs are too low. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Alright, blacksmithing. Chest is 1%. Hands are 0.25. Yeah, so if I go back, this is why they invent armor class, you know, to do this stupid stuff. So chest is 0.5. Feet are 0.125. Yeah, that's correct. And legs are 0.5, just like the chest. Feet, hands, 0.125. Helmet is 0.25. Legs, waist, 125. 125. 125. And cloth is also very low. So it's 125 divided by 2. Cloth head. So a silk chest is 0.25. A leatherworking chest is 0.5. And a bronze chest is 1.10. Same thing for legs. Did not do the legs stuff right. Legs need another 0. So legs are 0.5 there. Here they're 0.25. Same with chest. Feet are 0.062. Again, eventually I'll just create an armor class value for this stuff. Maybe I just do that now. I don't know. And just multiply the value. I could just multiply the value by like 1,000. So I think I have, was it convert statistic values? Yeah, so if it's a percent-based thing, we're going to get rid of the percent. Oh, shoot. Okay, so first we'll do let's duplicate ratings. And so ratings for now, we'll just limit to like resists. Not that, not that, not that. I suppose parry and stuff could be a rating as well. Okay, so maybe, so cat speeds, we want an actual percentage, because that's an obvious value. Time dilation we'll likely never use. Crit chance we want to see in its raw form. Crit damage, I'm not even sure why that's here. Oh yeah, because you do want percent damage stuff. Block chance, block value. I guess we could keep those. Dodge chance, parry chance, miss chance. So parry chance you want just as a raw value. Same with crit strike and parry. Yeah, dodge we just want these as raw values, I think. For now at least, whatever. Miss chance. Move speed. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll just take these legs off for now. Yeah, I guess for now I'm just going to do the resist checks. And just repeat this. Remove the percentage, and then I repeat this, but really just multiply by like 1,000. And that'll give a little bit better of a like readable armor class value. So value of 10. value of 5. And then tailoring 2.5. So let's do even higher. Let's go value of 10,000. So 100 armor, 50 armor, and then tailoring is 25 armor. And the feet are 6.25. I could like start rounding some of these things off too, so they don't do this. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll just round things off a little bit so we don't get negatives or percentages, I should say. So cloth. Let's go to 6. I think that one's fine. Yeah, so we can only have four decimals. That's it. Twelve, 25, 50, 12, 12, 12, yeah. I could technically do everything like this. And then maybe when you get into here, a mouse over here could convert it. But I don't think I'm going to care about that too much right now. Yeah, so it's converting all these things now too. Oh, resist all is at 1,000. What? Or is that just standard? They definitely need to lower that. I wonder if it's, did I set it here? Oh, if I set it here, so base is, 10% is way too high. Do a 5% base. And then let's look at the characters. Should I put that even lower? And it just be based on what you have. I think I will just put this to 0 for players. I'm going to mark this as something just in case it feels tough right now. All right. So now if we go to the next tier loot, so that's all those guys done. Now if we go to jewelry, these have to be pretty small as well. We will do probably, we'll take the lowest piece of gear value and do it to that, half of that. And so it's like your shittiest set of gear should give you your base damage reduction value type thing. I don't have dual crafting yet, do I? Well, put-ins. Yeah, 3. Okay. All right, so now I have to kind of update these, I think. So agility is all leather working. So I think I had. So that's our baseline. So this is the chest, which is the same as before. It could literally be the same armor levels. But you get a stat with it. This is feet. Which, is that right? No, it's not. Yeah, okay. I'm going to stop for the stream for a little bit, and I'll be back a little bit later. Thank you for watching.